Hi, friends, and welcome to episode 5 of my knitting podcast season 2. And I thought it's a good moment to come and wrap up my April knitting. Today is May 2nd, and I enter the new month with a ton of projects on my needles. Since the last time, I think I cast on at least 4 new projects. And that's why I am here to show you the progress. But before, if you are new here, thank you for joining me. If this is not your first time, I'm so happy that you are back. My name is Maria. I am a Romanian knitter who lives and knits in Norway. And this month, it will be 3 years on 24th since we moved in Norway. And it might not seem so much, 3 years, but for us it's like not quite a whole life, but it feels that we achieved so much in such a short amount of time, which it can be a good and positive thing, isn't it? Yes, it's interesting how I don't have a finished object and I am so good with it. The main reason is the amount of works in progress I have and I keep cast on, but also almost all these projects are with texture and cables, and of course they need more time. And then there is me making mistakes and having to rip and go back and fix the mistakes and things like that. But I think it's okay. I will start with the newest ones because I don't want you to get bored with me showing you the same thing again and again. I have to say that for those projects that I think there is not that much to say at this point, I will probably just put a picture and say a few words, but without insisting on it. I'm sure I will go back to them once more progress it will be made. Yes, how I will try to improve my content. I will try to make an episode where I will talk about just the whips I have on my needles. And I will try to make these toward the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, just like today. And then I will make a separate video that will not be so long for every finished garment. I think it's also a good way for me to keep track on my things and at the same time to really speak in detail about how the process of knitting that garment felt, and if I made modifications, what was that took me to this path of the modifications. I will talk about the yarn and my first impressions, and I will try to be more aware and make very, very short videos when I'm working on it for different parts. But when I'm saying short videos, I'm saying videos of a few seconds just to show a little bit the progress or the part I am working. So yeah, I hope this will work good for me, but also good for you, because I really feel I need to separate the finished objects from the whips. I think the finished objects deserve their moment separately from each other. Yes. Now I will start with what I am wearing, and this is a garment I finished in December last year, and this is a garment I am planning to cast on again soon. This is an adaptation of a wonderful cable pattern from one of my favorite designers, and her name is Sarah Solomon. She is also on Instagram as Into the Wool. If you want to have a look at her work. I like so much this pattern. The original pattern, it gives you the possibility to work different length. Well, none of the length are this length because this is very cropped. And it is a project that you are knitting by piece. And at the end, you need to sew all them together. Now, this is worked bottom up. You start with the back, and then you make the front, and then the sleeves, and then you sew everything together. The original pattern actually gives instructions to work the bottom band at the same time with the front parts. And the bottom band, it is actually folded, and I think it's sewn on the inside of the cardigan. However, for me, it was more mindless to do it afterwards, after everything is finished and sewn, and just like I'm doing with all the garments that I'm deciding that I want to make a double knitted bottom band. I like to pick up stitches afterwards and do the bottom band. This is not a perfect garment, and it's not the pattern fault, it is my fault. So I will try to stand up. I don't know how much it will focalize my phone camera, but I hope you can see it. First of all, the yarn. I've used yarn that I unraveled from another garment. I've made the sleeves, as you can see, shorter, but this yarn does not have memory. So when you're wearing the garment, as you can see, the sleeve has cinched in length and does not go back like this, because it was like this at the beginning. So if I want the sleeve to go back to initial length, I need to wash this garment. Another mistake I've made, because the yarn was unraveled, of course, has lost, in my opinion, a little bit of the properties in terms of keeping the shape. And when I've made the hem, my mistake was to not make a different cast on. I just made a long tail cast on, and that meant that my hem was very, not only elastic, but has lost the strength, and it was wider than the rest of the body of this little cardigan. And I end up solving somehow this problem by making an I-cord, but I've made this I-cord after I finished the garment, wash it and try it on. And because it was so short, and here it was like this, and it was really sitting very, very weird on my body. And I thought, you know what, it's okay. I accepted that this won't be perfect, um, and I will keep doing this and wearing this to see how it behaves. So, because I knew for sure I want to make this again in a different yarn, and I've learned so much from this sample that now I know what I need to do next time. Yes, and this is something I want to do again. Of course, next time I will cast on less stitches, way more less stitches. I would have loved to have the cuff like this, but it's not gonna happen with this one. Yes, so I will cast on less stitches, and then before starting the motif, I will increase up to the number of stitches I will need for my size 3, because I will make the same size. And as always with it's fascinating for me how cables, knitting cables, look so sophisticated and complex, and actually it's nothing like that. I mean, not complex, at least. This is a very easy chart to follow, and it features this simple, I think it was 2x2 cable, 2/2. This one too is the same. This one, and I have it on my back here in the middle. I don't know if you can see. There is a longer one. Yes, it's very nice. And oh, how I love these buttons. I don't know if you can see them. These are metal buttons. Yes, I love this project. And although it's not, maybe it's not the best looking crop cardigan I have at this point, I still like it so much. I really like it. And I am planning to knit another one. And this time I am thinking to use knitting for olive heavy merino. But I will do this only after I will wash my self-draft cable sweater to see how much it will grow, to see how it behaves, because if I'm not 100% convinced, I will change, of course. I will replace the yarn. I even thought to use Let Loppy because it's very rustic and keeps the shape. So I might also use Let Loppy. Now I will start with the new cast-ons I have, the new test knit I am doing, and progress on some whips. The whip that got a huge amount of progress is my Dagmar Sweater by Petite Knit. I shown this project here on my channel in a previous episode. I don't know if in February or March, or I think March. And I was at the beginning working the back. Well, a little bit more than a week ago, suddenly I felt the need to work on this project almost exclusively. Um, and here it is, guys, in all its glory. Dagmar Sweater by Petite Knit in size 2. And I'm using Aroma Fivel, um, which is a lamb's wool, and it is 50 grams and 100 meters. No gauge swatch. I decided to make it size 2. I could have done size 3 also, but I wanted for my dresses, and I think washing will open a lot this, and it will give me just the perfect amount of positive ease, like 1 to 3 centimeters, maybe even 5. I don't know, we shall see. And it will be perfect. Now, at this point, I like to wear it with this hem inside, and I think I will wear it like this once it's washed and blocked. I have hopes with this to not grow in length, but to grow in width. We shall see. This is a top-down construction. You start at the back with a small number of stitches, and you increase on every row at the end, at the beginning and at the end, on the front and on the back, to shape the back, but also to shape this part where later you will pick up stitches for the fronts of the sweater. Yeah, so that's that, nothing else. And yeah, I just hope this will end up like I envision, because it's really a very beautiful pattern, and it is very engaging, I have to say. I think not complicated, the most tedious part is this honeycomb cabling, but not because it's hard to do, it's just because you always need to pay attention toward left or toward right. You need to start in order to not mess it up and need to go back, because this panel here with this rhomb and this little cable here, it is very easy to do. And I will come closer and hoping that it will focalize. So this is where my seam is falling down a little bit on my back. And I do love how it looks when wearing. Yes. And as I've said, I'm using Aroma Fivel, and this is lamb's wool, and this is the color 415. Now, I don't have enough yarn. I only have, I think, one full ball of yarn. And I still have to work this like maybe 4 centimeters and then to make the cuff. I'm hoping this will be enough to finish the first sleeve. And after filming this podcast, I need to go to Bergen, and I will go to the store and try to find another ball. I'm saying try to find another ball in the same dye lot, which I don't think it will be possible, because I got this yarn in November from another store that already has a different dye lot, but I don't know if there is a difference. but I will try my luck with a different dye lot and hoping, if there is a difference, to not be a visible one. Initially, I had 400 grams of this yarn, 8 balls. And I don't know why I got so little, because initially this was for the November jacket of from Petite Knit, which is made in brioche stitch and is a long jacket, so I would have need way more yarn for that jacket, but for some reason I miscalculated at the beginning. Yes, this is the huge amount of progress I've made with the Dagmar Sweater by Petite Knit in size 2. Yes, so this was my most active project in the last a little bit more than a week, maybe 10 days. Now I will start with a new cast on, which is actually a vest. But first I will show you the cardigan I am working, because they are not the same. They are the same pattern in terms of cable, but they are two different weights of yarn. Now, a few weeks ago, I think 2 months and something, I saw on the designer who names on Instagram is Knitonomy. She was looking for test knitters for Fresno cardigan chunky. Anyway, 8 weeks later, after my last episode, the pattern went live and I got it, and immediately I started to cast on. So my friends, here it is in the middle of the row. On the back, I don't know how I managed to do this. Let me just turn this inside out and not lose my stitches. Okay, this is a bad boy or a bad girl. This is my version of Fresno cardigan chunky edition. A classic top down drop shoulder. This cable, it is very simple. It happens in a panel of 12 stitches, but whenever you need to cable, you actually are making the cable over 8 stitches. Yes, so you start at the back, just like the Dagmar Sweater, with small number of stitches, and then you start to increase on every row at the beginning, at the end, and then continue flat up to the measurements the pattern will tell you, or the measurements you want. And then you pick up for the fronts and join fronts with the back and continue back and forth for the body. One, I don't have the yarn that the pattern recommends, which, to be honest, I don't remember which one was. 2, I didn't gauge swatch. I know. What can we do? My yarn is a little bit thicker than the recommended yarn. This is what I remember. And I decided to make size 1 in the pattern. Size 1 in the pattern, it should give me at least negative ease. I don't expect, not negative ease, 0 ease. I don't expect negative ease because my yarn is a little bit thicker. Why I decided to go for size 1? Because I'm using a yarn that I've used to a previous project, and that will be the Isager Aran tweed. I've made with this yarn my Sibylla cardigan, and I've made the Sibylla cardigan as a size 2. Now, these are two different patterns. However, although my Sibylla cardigan, when finished after washing, blocking, was having like maybe 1 centimeter positive ease, maybe. After wearing, of course, the garment changed and now has more positive ease. It has enough to be comfortable, to not feel slutchy on my body. It's nice. But although it fits very well, I would have loved that cardigan to keep the initial measurement right after washing. I wear them with my dresses. It's not the case of this one I have on me today, but most of my dresses are having huge volume on the skirt. And that volume starts right under the bust. So when wearing that dress with volume and a fitted cardigan that will give a little bit the shape here on my waist, and the dress would look nice without feeling like a box. I don't know if this makes sense. So, having this experience with Sibylla cardigan, I thought, you know what, I will take the risk and I will make size 1. And this is what I am doing. Well, another problem, I don't know if problem, but there is a very good supposition, let's say it like this. Sibylla cardigan has a different cable panel. And there was more fabric that become flat with washing. Now this one has different cables that are quite chunky, like a very tight braid. And I'm not so sure if this braid will flatten that much. I don't think it will. But that's a problem for another day when I will finish this, because I refuse to stress about it. It will be what it will be, and if it will be fail, then so be it. It was an experience. I will learn a lot, and next time I will know what to do to avoid this situation. Of course, the time spending doing this won't come back to me, but that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Yes, what I was saying. Okay, so I read further in the pattern for the sleeves because I wanted to know how many stitches I will need to pick up for the sleeves. And I was okay with the number. I said no modification here. And I like that there is a suggestion in the pattern, and that is this is an observation that I so much appreciate in the pattern. It says that if you decide to make a size without positive ease, it will be better for the fit of the sleeve to work short rows on the sleeve. And it was like a green light in my head. Oh my God, this is such a good idea. And this is what I will do. Will make the short rows on the sleeves. I didn't read further. I don't know if she gives instructions, but I'm sure if she's not, I will figure out the way to make those short rows on the sleeves. And now another modification I'm planning to do, as always, the neckline and the bottom bands. I think they're made in 1x1 ribbing. I hope to not mistaken. But of course, I will do it my way in double knitting because this will get so much wear. And I know the double knitted neckline and bottom bands will help the garment to keep the shape, and that bottom band, it won't get sloppy in time. However, I will keep the one by one ribbing. Now, I'm not done with this pattern because 2-3 days ago I saw the designer asking again for test knitters because she is very soon launching a vest in this cable, a round neck vest, and the name of the vest is also Fresno. And the deadline, it's just 4 weeks ahead. I know I can do this, obviously. And to be honest, I just left a comment. I would love to make this in size 3, which size 3 it is supposed to have 102 centimeters circumference bust. I have 4 centimeters more, but I've said I would love to make this with negatives and cropped for my dresses, and I cannot wait for the pattern. And next day I had a message, not me personally, but I guess all the people who expressed the desire of test knitting this vest, saying that these are the conditions. If you think you can make it, come and join the test knit group. And I did. And I've started. And this is my progress so far. I'm working at the back. I finished with the increases and I need to work straight for some time and then to make the increases for the armholes, for the underarm. I will try to come closer, but I don't have that much hope that this will focus. Yeah, so this is my progress, and the yarn, it's a very interesting and new to me yarn that I purchased a few weeks ago from a store in another town, and this is Fiala Loppi from Istex, and it's the little sister or brother of Let Loppi because it's absolutely the same yarn but in a different weight. Now, the pattern of the vest, it is for DK yarn. This, in my personal opinion and how I feel is knitting, is in between sport and DK. I will dare to say it's a light DK, even if you wouldn't say this, but it is. It feels. For my size 3, the size I choose, you need 350 grams. The yarn recommended has 125 meters. My yarn is having 150 meters. I asked the designer if I am allowed to do modifications, but modifications in terms of length, I would love to make it cropped. And if I can make the hem a little bit longer, because from what I saw in the pictures, there is just 2 or 3 centimeters length. And I understand because the vest has normal length. So if you are doing to the normal length, I guess it has all the sense to make a short hem. But I am making cropped. And when you make things cropped, you need a longer hem. You are a busty person like I am, and you don't have a proper hem that will keep the garment on your body. Whenever you will move hands or raise hands, everything will rise up on your to-do, girls. Yes, this is a very autumnal color, which I think it is gorgeous, really. And what I like about it is that it's not the more common rust you can find on palette colors. This is more orangey. Yes, so this is a new cast on, and I'm sure it will, I don't know, I have this feeling that it will go well and it will turn out in what I am envisioning in terms of fit. And it brings me so much joy because now I'm sure in a short amount of time I will have a new vest in my wardrobe, knitted wardrobe. And the vests are a thing that I really want to do, but with so many cable sweaters on my needles, it seems that these are at the end of my wish list. A recap of the things that I won't show you today because there's no point, but I will show you a B-roll. I don't have a B-roll for this. I have to show you. My self-drafted sweater, it's almost ready. I swear I knitted this only in the car. I just have to make 3 repeats more, actually 2, on this cable panel and the stockinette, and I'm done with it. But this was not a priority considering how much I made progress on the Dagmar sweater. But this will be finished soon, and it's already out of my mind because I am already considering this like done, you know. Another one that got a little bit of attention, and for this one I will put a B-roll, is the Billy cardigan. I finished the sleeves, I fixed both of the sleeves, and I unravel a little bit more than half of the body, which was heartbreaking to be honest, but needed to be done. And it went on pause because for the life of me, if I know where my 4.5 long circular needles are. Now I put on the needles but haven't knitted not even one row. But it will happen soon once I finished with my self-draft with Dagmar. I need to clear my needles because others are coming and waiting their turn. So that's that. Another project that didn't get attention, it is my milk stout cardigan. I stopped with that. I am like 5 centimeters of finishing the body up to the underarm. And I have to rethink the sleeves. I think I need to unravel my sleeve and to make the decreases much faster than the designer explains, just because I'm not on the same row gauge. And another problem I have is that I need to figure out how can I modify the yoke, because after my last episode and after I told you that the designer commented on my post on Instagram to be careful with the yoke and to make adjustments, I went on Ravelry. If I remember correctly, I think there are like more than 100 projects. I only saw a few and none of them liked. I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't like it, the fit. So I need to figure out what can I do to make it to look like this. And another thing, you know what I have been saying about that folded garter stitch neckline. Well, let me tell you that from the project I saw on Ravelry, the few I saw. None of them was looking good on the neckline. Only the pattern is looking good. But I found out what's happening, and that's a thing that disappoints me. I read a little bit about the yarn. I went back where the designer talks about the yarn. It results that the yarn that she used, which I have never heard, if I remember, I will put a name on the screen. That yarn has absolutely no elasticity, which means that that cardigan made in that yarn won't lose the shape. At this point, I'm not even considering to repack the cardigan. No way. I want to trust my skills to go on with this pattern and to have a wonderful finished garment, because I like this cardigan so much. I like the look of it, and I see myself wearing that cardigan with my dresses. I love the combination of one by one ribbing with those cable panels, those intricate, you know. I just love it. And of course, I want to finish it. And I just need to find a moment and a place in my mind to be really concentrated, to read and do some math and, yeah, find a solution and take some decisions regarding how can I go forward with this and to have a beautiful finished garment. So that's why that's on hold, and it will be on hold for a while. Let's see. Another project I have on my needles but didn't get attention. And I took this out to be closer because I want to finish this soon. So I've only made a few rows, like six, 7 rows, just because I was not even remember on what row I was on the chart. Luckily, I like to use this pencil, or how do you say, to put a little spot, a little sign on each row I am working. Thank God I've done this, because otherwise I would have had no idea on what row I was. So that's that. Not much to say. We don't insist about it. This will come back to you once I'm doing something with it. Now I have a new cast on, but it's actually just at the beginning. I just cast on this to have it mentally started. And whenever I feel the need to go back to this, you know that last year I've made a Agnet cardigan from Petite Knit. I love that cardigan so much. I wear that cardigan so much, even if it has mohair a thing that I don't like about it. I modified the sleeves, I shortened the sleeves, I added a very short double knitted cuff, and I love it. And I knew, and I think I've said this in my old episode, that I would love to make this again. And I have the beautiful yarn. I will try to come closer. It is a cone yarn that I got from a store in Bergen, and there is a yarn that I have been used in the past. It is a lace, and I'm holding this double. This is either 90% wool and 10% cashmere, or 95 wool and 5 cashmere, something like that. I don't think you can see it, but it's a little bit heathered. So it has different shades of green and it is absolutely wonderful. It has a lot of spinning oil and I will try to show you the progress so far, but my yarn, because I've made this episode in Romanian, it's tangle. You see, I have to fix this. I am just at this point where I'm working. This is at the back in double knitting. And once I finish this, I need a certain length. I will pick up stitches on the side here or here and start at the back. And I'm so excited to see how this cardigan will look in this beautiful green. It's a mess here in my bag. And in this beautiful yarn. And I will make the same size, which was size 3. I will put this here. Another project I have on my needles that I didn't touch in months, and I would love to fix this, but not now. It's my second pastoral sweater. If you remember, I have just one sleeve and I am working on the second sleeve, but only on the cuff. But this didn't get a lot of attention at all in the past months. And for this, I am using Aroma Phenol. I hope it focalizes. And this is the color 0411. It's this brownie beigey thing. It's very nice. And I'm using 3.5 millimeters, and I'm using, this time I'm making size 3 because for my first one I've made size 5. So that's that. This is actually my oldest project because I started this in maybe last year, August or something, if I remember correctly. Now let me show you another project that did not get any attention, and that it's very hard to find motivation to finish it, but it's something I need to finish. This is my Christmas sweater. I don't know if you remember that last year, before Christmas, I started this. And this is a pattern by Sandnes Garn. This is the Julgenser, which means Christmas sweater from 2024 Christmas, or last year. And I do love this sweater. I love the look of this sweater. I love this neckline. But I have to say that this is one of the most uncomfortable projects I have worked before. It's made with thin pure gint, which is 100% Norwegian wool, and 3 millimeters. And on some rows you work with 3 colors, and if I remember correctly, there are some rows where you are using 4 colors, but maybe I don't remember correctly. I'm not sure about this last one. But anyway, it's hard, tedious work. I started in January the second sleeve, but guys, just to match this underarm, I think I tried to pick up several times. It was so difficult to match these things here. It was just overwhelming, literally. And I don't feel the motivation to work on this. However, I thought that soon I should think to pick up one morning a week, once a week, because I work the best in the mornings. I woke up very, very early because I like to have my time in the morning, you know. And yeah, my mornings are my most productive knitting hours in a day. So I thought maybe to choose like a Sunday morning when everybody in the house is sleeping, but I am awake and I can concentrate on this. And every week to do a little bit, a little bit, a little bit until I finish this. I am already scared about the second sleeve because I totally forgot what I have done on the first one to match those because I skipped some stitches. I did something and I did not took notes as always. So this is a hibernating progress sweater for so long. I don't feel it, but I hope to be more organized and to think that a little bit every week is better than nothing for months. And maybe I will wake up one day to say, "Oh, I finished the sweater." Yes. Let's see. My next project, it is a new cast on. Yes, I cast on a new cardigan from a new to me Norwegian designer. Her name is Helene Beba or Garn og Slikt. I will put it on the screen. And she has wonderful patterns, but this one got my attention. The name is Pearl Jacket. It is a top-down, boxy fit, drop shoulder jacket. It is meant to be worked in two strands. One is Jensen from Isager, together with silk mohair, also from Isager. So yeah, and I don't use that. Instead, I am using a yarn that I already had in my stash, and I'm fascinated about this color. And this is Ask by Hillesvåg in this absolutely gorgeous brown. It's the most vibrant brown so far for me. It has so many shades, it's so interesting. And this is the color 316103. And as always, I don't follow the rules. This yarn has 100 grams and 350 meters. The recommended needles for the pattern, it is 5 millimeters. However, I work with 3.5. I had to take a little bit of time to think about what size I should make, and I decided, with all the risk, to make size 2. Technically, this size in the pattern with the suggested yarn and needles, it will give me 112 centimeters total circumference bust. We shall see how much it will give me with what I am doing. And this is my progress. This is a broken rib stitch pattern, which means that on the front side you knit, and on the wrong side you work one by one ribbing, and then you just need to repeat these 2 rows. You start at the back. It's the same as the previous garments I showed you. A number of stitches, increase on every row, back and forth, and now I am at the moment I need just to work back and forth because I increased everything I needed. And now I need to continue, like, I think approximately another 10 centimeters in length, and then start to work the fronts. Yeah, this should be continued project. We shall see what, if my choice of size, it is what it needs to be. Yes, I think I will talk about 2 more projects, but just if I can find them. I've started sweater by Sunnes Garn, the one that is made with crocheted motifs, and you need to join them, and then you are picking up stitches and knitting the neckline, cuff and hem. Well, I don't have that much progress, and I will just briefly show you. Oh, I've done another motif that I need to attach. Well, let me tell you that this is taking way more time than I anticipated or I imagined. Sorry. I was so superficial with this project. I thought that this will flow from my crochet hook. I thought that this will be a week project. It's not. It's very tedious. The square in the pattern, it's meant to have 6.5 centimeters by 6.5 centimeters using a crochet hook number 4.5. I had to go down to 3.5 to have this the same measurements. Now, I might not gauge swatch with the knitting, but with crocheting, I had to. Now, I'm not using the same yarn. In the pattern, I think you use 1 strand of thin pearl gint and 1 strand of thin silk mohair, both from Sunnes Garn. I'm using just a yarn from Hillesvåg. It's this absolutely gorgeous red, which is called Tinde. And this is 100 grams and 260 meters. Yes, I thought maybe my squares will be more rigid, going down so much with the crochet hook, but actually they are not. Now, why it takes me so much time is because this is having so many ends, and I don't see myself waving in ends, probably at least 500 ends at the end of the project. No way I will do this. So I know it will take me more time, but I am crocheting one motif, waving these 2 ends, attaching and waving another 2 ends that I have them from attaching these together. It's a very tedious process that takes a lot of time, and you need to have a very strong motivation for this sweater to make it. My motivation is very strong still because I tried on the sample that was in the store and I love it with my dress. I fall in love instantly with the sweater. I am making the same size from the sample I tried on, which is size 2. I don't know if I have the right amount of yarn, although I will make some modifications because the sleeves were up to here and they were like this wide, but I'm not thinking how can I modify the sleeves right now. I'm waiting to reach that point and then I will think about it. How can I do this to have more practical sleeves, because those were looking very good, fancy, but to pull the sleeves all the time, it's not something I want or need. So now I'm working through my first 100 gram, and I am so curious to see how many squares, flower squares, can I do with 100 grams. And for my size, I need to do more than 100 squares. That's a lot of work, guys. That's a lot of work, and shame on me for thinking that this will be a piece of cake. This is everything except piece of cake in terms of how fast you can do this. I've already accepted that this won't be finished in a close future, next future. It is what it is. Remember my Easter cardigan? I won't take it out. I decided to rip that back because I don't like it, and there's no point for me to do something that I'm not 100% convinced that it will work. So that does not exist anymore. Actually, it exists here, expecting me to unravel. But that's a job for another day. In terms of, we are staying in the same moment of ripping back. In my previous episode, I've showed you that I would love to make a self-drafted lace cardigan. Forget about it. I decided to unravel that project because it didn't spoke to me. And I thought, I need to do something with this yarn, because you see, my problem with this last project, the lace project, was that I unraveled and all the yarn I had it here. I had like a little hill of yarn. And because I am so stubborn, I refuse to ball the yarn. And for a few days, I just sit here, knit and sew the yarn, sit here, knit, sew the yarn. And I thought, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to ball that yarn. Now, I search patterns which are here. And I said, let's see what I can do. And imagine how amazed I was that I got the book club sweater and I didn't even remember. And I said, oh, but I remember I had the book club cardigan and always hesitating to start it. And I said, you know what? I will start with this yarn I had unraveled here. I will start the book club sweater. And my goal was to knit on that sweater until I used all the unraveled yarn. And I did it. And let me show you my proudest project so far these days. Doo-doo! I am so happy with the choice of pattern I've made so far, with the yarn I am using. My recent cast on book club sweater is saying hi to the world. I hope this will focus. I really hope. I love it. This is so stunning. The color, I think this will go so nice with the dress I have it. This is a dress with very dark blue stripes and the light or gray. And I think it will sit just wonderful with this. And again, no surprise anymore. This looks more complicated than It actually is. This is so easy to make. And I am about 4 or maybe 5 centimeters of finishing the back panel. Now I will put a picture here so you can see also the yarns. I'm not coming closer because I'm not sure this will focalize. I'm using 2 strands from Isayer. One is the tweed, Isayer tweed, which is a fingering. And the other one is alpaca one, also from Isayer. The tweed is, well, it's the tweed, but being in this raw white color, you don't see any tweed on it. It's just the name. And the other one, the alpaca one, is color E0. And together are creating this wonderful, wonderful cream. I'm so excited with this project that I only want to knit on this now, but I can't. I reached my goal to finish, to work through the yarn I had unraveled here on my left, and now I just need to stop. I know I have a lot of projects on my needles, but my next cast on, it will be a lace cardigan that I just got the pattern yesterday. Put it on the screen. I don't remember the name, but it's from Shetland website, and I think it's from a Shetland week from 2021. I'm not sure. I had to do a little bit of research because everything was directing me on their website, but actually there was no pattern on their website. And it's what attracted me to it is that it combines cables with lace, and I'm so in it with this combo. And I will show you the yarn I will use. Now, you know I don't like summer yarns, but this is not necessarily a summer yarn. This is having 68% baby alpaca and 32% organic cotton. This is the Isayer Eco Baby. And this is also the color E0. I love this color. Actually, guys, what happened is that when I got the yarn for my book club cardigan, I actually wanted this yarn. And this is, I forgot to show you, this is like a chain yarn. And it has 50 grams and 150 meters. So I would say it's a sport weight, or at least in between sport and a very light DK. So I wanted actually this yarn, but just because it had this cotton, I've said, I don't want cotton, I don't want cotton. Well, last week I went to the knitting cafe at the store where I got my yarn. And before going home, I got 7 balls of this because this color couldn't get out of my mind, my thoughts, my knitting plans. And it's funny because I left with the owner. She is very sweet, and I said, I just, since the last time I'm thinking about this color, I need to have it. And I will start my lace cardigan with this one. I will make it cropped. It is a version that you can make with short sleeves. I'm very tempted to make one with short sleeves, but I don't know, or 3/4 or long sleeves. I don't know. I saw a video, but I don't remember, somebody who made like a vlog with this cardigan, but she spun her own yarn. But it was a nice beige not light, and it was very wonderful. I'm curious to see how this will look on my project. But I just know this color, it speaks to me on every level possible, knitting level possible. And it's amazingly soft. It's like baby skin. It's that soft. It's Echo Baby. Whew, I feel I talked so much. I feel I have too much on my needles. But I don't regret it. I don't regret it, to be honest. I enjoy each and every project. Well, maybe I'm not enjoying that much the Christmas sweater. Definitely not. And maybe the Billy cardigan, it's having his tedious moment for a while. But I know that once I will have them finished, I will forget about this love-hate relationship that we have now, and I'm sure we'll be partner for life. I'm hoping we will stay together many, many years ahead. It was so nice to be here again today. It's again a free day today. Yesterday was 1st of May and it was also a free day. So the kindergarten is closed and we are having like a long weekend. It will be a very busy weekend. Now I need to go to Bergen to the store where a wonderful lady, the owner of the store, is helping me shorten my, do some modification to all my linen wardrobe because many of them, like this one, are second hand. This one too needs to be shortened a little bit. And I got some skirts in linen that were very good price, second hand. I'm the second owner, and they need to be modified a little bit so I can wear them. And I need to go to the yarn store. I sent a message to the owner because to the store. I don't know if they are open today. I need to buy a little bit more yarn so I can finish this weekend my Dagmar sweater. And I need to buy some yarn for somebody to send it in Romania. And then I need to buy some things because on Sunday we are invited on our friends and neighbors confirmation. Their son will have this confirmation, and it is a very important event in the child's life. And I am so happy that usually they are just for very close to the family people, and we were included, and that made me so happy. And I promised I will make some cookies to bring at the restaurant. And tomorrow is baking day, so tomorrow I'm making cookies. And Sunday we will have this wonderful opportunity to participate to a confirmation and to such a very special child to my soul. So it will be a busy weekend, and next week back to work. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here, for you spending time with me, for you listening me ramble and ramble and ramble about my knitting. But I want you to know that I so much appreciate it. You have no idea. And I hope you had a good moment with me. I hope you felt like we just met, had a coffee, and talk about what we are knitting. And if this will bring you a little bit of inspiration, I'm happy. If I can help you with more information, or if you want to know more about something I showed today, don't hesitate to leave a comment or to send me a DM on my Instagram, which is Romanian Knitter in Norway. And I hope you had a good knitting project on your needle to keep me company here. And I will see you next time with a special episode about finished garments, and one at a time, one at a time. Until then, I wish you to be healthy, to be safe, and to knit whatever your heart wants. See you next time. Bye bye.